Alright, we are back with some more Dragon Ball Fighters on YouTube. Alright. Okay, so here's the thing. Alright. And I'm gonna explain it on Twitch. And I'm gonna explain it on the channel as well. Alright, which by the way, if you guys haven't followed the channels, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that sub button. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube, follow me on any of the social media platforms. Links will be in the link in the description below. Okay. So usually this is one of those videos where I just like to sit and talk. Last week I was supposed to jump back into a ranked match. Haven't done that in ages. Alright, I think the last time I jumped on a ranked match was forever ago, and then after that I never jumped into a ranked match. Most of the time, you know, when I record my matches, I do casual matches. And then last week, at the time of this recording, it is June 19th. So this happened exactly the week prior. I was supposed to jump into some ranked matches. But what happened was, okay, my external hard drive got corrupted. Because usually what happens is I have an external hard drive where I save all my games, right? And so I had my external hard drive plugged into my PlayStation console, and it was working fine. For about 1-2 hours, it was working fine. And keep in mind, I've never had problems with this external hard drive since forever. Like, this was the first time it actually happened. I've never had problems with my external hard drive whatsoever. I've had it for about at least 4 or 5 years. Even when I had when I still had my PS4, never gave me problems until last week. Excuse me, until last week. And I remember I was in training mode. I was playing with 21 too. Like, I was practicing my combos with 21, and my game automatically shuts out. I get a message saying that USB not plugged in, or please plug in a USB cable or something like that. So I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, shit, right? I'm like, don't tell me at first I thought my game crashed, right? Like, at first I thought my game crashed, right? And so I'm like, okay, not a problem, right? Sometimes your game crashes, you just reset it, all right? And then I found out that my external hard drive it didn't show up on my PlayStation console. So I'm like, fuck, man, like, what the fuck just happened? Like, this is going to be such a pain in the ass. And so I looked at it and I was like, okay, let me just unplug my hard drive, and plug it again. I plugged it in again. Nothing happened. Like, my console wasn't reading it. Nothing showed up. Like, no, if you were to go into the USB storage in the settings, nothing shows up. And usually when you have a USB or an external hard drive plugged in, it will show up in the settings. Mine did not show up. So I said, okay, fuck, like, what the fuck now? Like, shit, what do I do? So I'm like, okay, let me try a different USB port. So I tried the other USB port, because obviously you have 2 USB ports in the back of your PS5 console. I tried the other USB port, same thing, nothing. So I'm like, well, that's just fucking great. Like, okay, let me try. At first I didn't know what the problem was. Was it my console, or was it my external hard drive? So I said, okay, the only one way to find out is to plug in my USB external hard drive, like my game drive, my external hard drive for my games, where I save all my games, plug it into a computer and see if it reads there. I plugged it in, nothing shows up. So I'm like, shit, like, well, that's just great. So at this point now, I'm just fucking pissed off, right? I'm just fucking annoyed. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, all I wanted to do was just sit down and record some fighters, but I couldn't even do that. Like, I had no access to my games whatsoever, because all my games were saved on the external hard drive. So I'm like, that's just fucking great. Like, you know, like, well, can't play anymore. Don't have access to my games, and so I said, okay, let me look it up, see what else I can do. I go on the internet, I go on YouTube, and I look up various different methods. One of the methods it showed me was to rebuild your database. And so I'm like, okay, let me try that. Let me unplug my hard drive, rebuild the database, and then try it again. So I rebuilt the database, everything got reset. Okay, everything got wiped out. My games were still there, but if you guys were to look at the top, for those of you guys who have a PS5, if you guys were to look at the top of your screen on the PS5 home screen on the user interface, you'll see like you have a list of games there. Those ones got wiped out. Other than that, my games were in my collection. They were saved in the cloud, in the collection. It was fine. Anyways, then I see Fighters, that game that I was playing, Dragon Ball Fighters, it automatically starts downloading onto my console storage. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why the fuck is this downloading onto my console storage? Like, I swear, like, I have the hard copy version of this game, right? And so I'm like, why is it automatically downloading to my console storage when I have it saved in my external hard drive storage? Then I saw like, oh, you know what? I probably did not eject the disk. When I rebuilt the database, I probably did not eject the disk and I left the disk in there. So when the whole database rebuild, it automatically read the disk and downloaded it onto my console storage, because it's basically, when you rebuild the database, it's like a user interface reset. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, like, let me try now. So after rebuilding the database, I plugged in my hard drive, did not work. What I even did was I shut off my PS5, I unplugged everything, plugged everything back in. I even unplugged everything, put in my external hard drive in first, then turned on my PS5, nothing. In fact, as a matter of fact, the screen, when I tried that method, the screen would go blank. And I ended up rebooting my PS5 like twice. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, like, it doesn't even work. I'm not even gonna record now. Like, I'm just gonna jump on, play some ranked matches, and that's it. So I went off camera. I didn't even stream. I didn't even record. I just went off camera. I was pissed off, and so I just played. I played some online ranked matches, won some, lost some. It is what it is. Had to call tech support the next day. Couldn't call tech support that day because it was on a weekend. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to call tech support the following day. The following day comes, I come home from work, I have to call tech support. I call tech support, or PlayStation tech support. They're walking me through basic steps. They even got me to rebuild the database again. And we tried everything, nothing works. So I'm like, okay, this sucks. And so they tell me, oh, you know what? Maybe if nothing's wrong with your console, and it's got to be the external hard drive. You have, if it's not reading on your console, if it's not reading on your computer, but your console still works, it's got to be your external hard drive. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's probably what I figured, right? I mean, worst to worst case scenario, and you know, touch wood, something happens to your console, right? Because, you know, we PS5 owners, we paid a lot of shit for this, man. We paid a lot of money for this shit, right? So for a PS5 owner to, you know, to spend a lot of shit and to buy their PS5 and only for it to break down or have problems with it, obviously, yeah, you're gonna be fucking pissed off, right? Like, you're gonna be fucking annoyed, all right? But luckily for me, it's not the console. At least I hope it's not the console, you know, touch wood. But anyway, so PlayStation tells me, oh, you know what, you gotta call the the manufacturer for your external hard drive. So I had to call Seagate because my external hard drive was from Seagate. So I called Seagate, but the thing is, they closed at that when I called that day. It was like they closed at 6, and by the time I got off the phone, excuse me, by the time I got off the phone with PlayStation's tech support, it was almost 6. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to call the manufacturer for my external hard drive. I'm just going to call Seagate, and if somebody picks up, well and good. If not, I'll just call the following day. Luckily for me, somebody was there. They managed to pick up, and I spoke to them, and they told me to do this, do that, do this, do that, and nothing seemed to work. Like, my external hard drive was not reading at all. And so they told me, okay, you know what? Try downloading this program called C-Tools. Basically, C-Tools is like an antivirus program for your external hard drive. You download the program onto your computer, you plug in your external hard drive, run the program, and it should tell you what kind of malware or virus you have in your external hard drive. And I was just like, okay, let me try that. And so the tech support lady, she was like, by the way, let me tell you right now, if it doesn't work for whatever reason, your hard drive is corrupted. Like, your hard drive is no good anymore. Like, your external hard drive is no good anymore. You have to get a new external hard drive. So I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, I'll try that right now. And so I did. I downloaded C-Tools, I ran the program, with my external hard drive plugged in, nothing. I tried 3, 4, 5 times, nothing. Like, it just said reading cannot read, or failed, or something like that, queue failed, or something like that. So I knew right away, like, my external hard drive was just, like, it just went out the door. It just went out the window. Like, it was not good anymore. So I'm like, well, that's great. Now here's the good news is that I still have all my games in my collection, right? In my PS5 collection. The bad news is when I get a new external hard drive, which I don't have one yet, I'm gonna have to re-download everything, which sucks. It's a hassle, but it is what it is. You know what? Sometimes it'd be like that. It'd be like that when it'd be like that, especially when it'd be like that. So now it's just like, so now I'm just like, okay, well, I have a corrupted my external hard drive is corrupted for my PlayStation. I have no access to my games. I don't even know if I want to record or I want to stream anymore. So anyways, what I did was I just played some ranked matches off camera. And that's what I did. But you know what? Your boy is working on getting a new hard drive. I'm working on getting a new hard drive. I'm working on getting a new hard drive, so that I can re-download all my games, get them in there, and, you know, we'll go from there. Anyways, that's just a little update, like, what I wanted to give. But just, you know, thought you guys should know. And, you know, this is what's been going on. And, you know, hopefully I'm just trying to find another external hard drive that I can use, because, you know, I have a lot of games that the thing is, like, I don't want to save anything on the console storage, and I would rather prefer to either expand the storage internally or externally, depending on the scenario, and transfer all my games there. What I've been doing lately was expanding my storage externally. So I would have an external hard drive and I would store all my PS4 games in there. I don't have any PS5 games yet, but when the time comes, I might have to update my internal storage too. We'll see how that goes. But this is just what's been going on. I'm going to be back with some more ranked videos for sure, because I have a, you know, I was supposed to do it last week, but I never did, and I owe you guys a ranked video. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. All right, hopefully you guys have a nice day wherever you are. I'll be back with some more ranked videos for sure, and I'll see you guys in the next Dragon Ball video. Cheers.